Hey, everybody. We are so glad that you are here with the Lunch and Learn. Listen, this is a great time every week that we get together and talk and kind of collaborate a little bit and hear from other ambassadors. And today we have Elaine McGuire. She's awesome. She has the full package. Elaine has done in the past. She's done this business for many years, and so she knows what she's talking about. So what we're going to talk about today is our Firestarter challenge and how Elaine has won a ton of money in the last few months. So anybody who is looking to win some extra money for the next, we're doing it through September. Okay, we're doing this ahead of convention, which is in October. So if you haven't gotten your tickets or your virtual tickets, either one for convention, then you need to go ahead and get that taken care of today. But Elaine has been working this Firestarter challenge every month. What it is let me just give a little background. The Firestarter is something that we've come up with just to kind of sweeten the pot a little bit and help people earn some money to pay for convention. So you throw in $20 at the beginning of the month. It's a quiet group. We don't have a lot of back and forth in it. And what we do is everybody just works. We have a page that you work from. Everybody does daily activity. And at the end of the month, everybody comes back and reports. And the top 3 people who have done the most activity split the prizes 3 different ways. So anyway, we have it set out. So it's a great way for you to earn extra money, and maybe pay for convention ticket or even a room or whatever. So that's what Elaine is going to talk about today, how she has been leveraging the Firestarter challenge and what she's been doing daily so that because she's won hundreds of dollars in the last few months. So take it away, Elaine.
All right. Thank you, Beth. And thank you for the honor of training. This is something I really enjoy doing, especially when it's something that I know so well. And Beth mentioned to you all that I've been doing this type of business, social selling, direct sales, network marketing, whatever you want to call it, for many years. Actually, um, I have been doing. My very first company was when I was 18, so I have had a lot of experience. And you guys, when I started building a very successful business that I had been working for over 25 years, when I got started, we didn't have internet. We didn't have cell phones. You guys, we didn't even have computers in our home. We had a telephone that was now, I was going to say still had a cord on it. I think we had cordless telephones. I think we did have that. But I learned how to build my business really the old school way. And I think it's still a very effective way. The beautiful thing is, we have so many more tools today than we did back then. So you have a whole world of opportunity in front of you. Those of you who are just getting started, or even if you've been building your MIG business for a while, utilize those tools, but don't forget about the old-fashioned way of communicating with people, because it's not just going to work just to throw something up on Facebook. They're not just going to come running to your door. It's about building relationships. It's about building having people know, like, and trust you. And that can begin with posting, that they get to know you that way. But the like and trust really comes from the personal interaction. So I just wanted to throw that out there to you, because I see so many people coming in and thinking they're just going to get rich just throwing up some posts. And it makes me sad, because there's so many that have great potential but don't utilize the tools in front of them. And one of those tools, you guys, is the Firestarter challenge. It has really made such a difference for me with accountability. And I have to say, I'm pretty faithful to myself. I am. I have been pretty much doing the same DMO for for many years, since I started with MIG and really started learning more about social selling and the internet and using social media, because I never had used that before MIG. And so that part is new to me. So don't think that just because I have so much experience that you can't do the same thing I can, because I'll tell you what, you all probably have a whole lot more experience on social media than I do, and utilizing texting and messaging and all of that. But the 555, the five new, I wrote new attempts, and I'll show you my notes because I think that's a part of why I've been, what has helped me to stay on track and stay and be successful. But 5 new attempts every day. Or yeah, 5 new attempts, 5 invites, inviting them to hear more about the opportunity, to take a look at your website, to get them something in their hands that will help them to learn more about MIG, and then following up. So 5 of each on a daily basis. And, you know, I did win a lot of money the last 2 months, you guys, and it paid for my, it paid, I have to have I get a virtual one this year. My doctor said absolutely no travel. Makes me want to cry because I've not missed convention since the beginning, but it did pay for my virtual ticket, what I won, and then some. So, and you guys, you want to be at convention, so win some money, pay for your your ticket. You'll be glad you did. I'm just looking at my notes here so I don't skip anything. So the 555 has really helped me stay on track. And what I do is again, I'm old school. I know you can do this in your phone and that sort of thing, but I use a notebook that I actually use this same notebook all year long. So I start in January. And so of course my notebook has changed because in January we didn't have the Firestarter challenge, but you can see all the writing in here. Each page for me, each time I turn the page, it's a new week. And I always write the date at the top, the Monday. Every Monday, I write the date at the very top and everything that I'm doing that week. So I have access to anybody I talked to back in January. And so when I'm doing the 555, if I get stuck with, oh, who do I talk to next? Who can I invite? I can go back through my notes and go, oh, it's been a while since I mentioned it to Carrie. Let me reach out to her. But I do try to really stay current with new people. Sometimes there are people, and I'll highlight them, that just weren't ready when I first mentioned it to them. So I highlight them in my book, and I can very easily just flip through and see highlights and go, okay, I need to reach back out to her, because sometimes people aren't ready the first time they hear about it. So new people are really the key. And there are lots of different ways you can get new people. So I'll just break it down, each one of the 5s and how I do it. So new people that I might want to talk to can come from my Facebook friends. And, you know, if you don't have enough Facebook friends, get more. One of the ways, and Liz Ann was the one who taught me how to get more Facebook friends from the friends I already have, by going into my friends' friend lists and friending them, but first going to their profile. Now, a lot of people have their friends list hidden, I know that, but there are still a lot of people who don't. So going to somebody who you really like, know, and trust, and who likes and knows and trusts you, and looking at the people in their friend list. That's a great way to build your friend list, and then send them a friend request. Get to know them in their profile, make sure that, you know, it's the right fit and whatever. And then send them a friend request and write them down so you know who your new friends are. Another way to get new friends is to do groups, Facebook groups. Go into, find a Facebook group that really resonates with you. You know, if you love gardening, go into a Facebook group that is for gardeners. Especially for that one, the one that's been helpful for me is the one that's local to me. I'm into gardening. So I found a Facebook group that was local to me because gardening in my part of the country is different than gardening in some other areas. But I've been able to make friends in those groups just by commenting on their, different posts that people put up and thanking them for the information and asking questions. And pretty soon you start to get to know some of the people in the group. Then at the point where you feel like there's a relationship building, you send them a friend request. There's a new friend. Look for groups, not only that are your JK5, your 5 pillars, the things that you really identify with, but people who are looking, groups that might have people who are looking for the things we have, like groups about health, groups about non-toxic, groups about, for me, I'm in a group of people who are going through menopause. I'm already through it, but we have so many products that are helpful for people in that stage of life. And that's one of my pillars. One of my pillars is women my age. So those are some ways that you can meet some new people and start conversations with them, go into their profile. I use the Queen Bee 3 method. If you don't know exactly what that is, there is training on it, but it's basically getting to know people and having them get to know you before you then send them an invite to something. So on my list, let me look at my current one so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll write Queen QB3. I don't know if you can read this, but to the left of where I have all my new contacts, I write Queen B3, QB3, if it's somebody that I don't already know. And I put little check marks next to it every single time I comment on their profile. And I'll put a little star if I'm seeing them commenting on mine. That helps me know that there's a relationship started before I make an attempt to invite them to something. And I usually lead with, I'd love to tell you more about this business. I usually lead with a recruiting invite because there's someplace else to go if they say no to that. If you invite them to look at the products and they're like, yeah, no, this is really isn't for me, then how are you going to invite them to be part of your company, right? So I lead with, I'd love to share more about the products, I'd love to share more about what I'm doing these days. And I do have different scripts that I use that I modify depending on who the person is. Make it personal. Don't copy and paste, please. Don't copy and paste a standard invitation. I know you all probably have gotten them and it's annoying, and it's quite honestly, the word isn't coming to me. It upsets me. It's like, why are you inviting me to this? You don't even know who I am. Get invited to a weight loss group. And I'm like, why? I don't need to lose weight, So, then the invites start. And so my middle column is invites. And you can see this is this week. I did not get 5 done yesterday, but I will tell you 5 invites. I got 3. I need 2 more, and I'll work on that today. And I hope it's okay that I do Firestarter this way. When I have 3 done and you can see I got 5 new and 5 follow-ups, but I only had 3. I'm going to make up those 2 today so that it counts as 555. I hope that's okay that I've done that, because tomorrow I want to start again with more. This is my list from this week, and you can see, like I said, I actually have gone forward with new people, and then here are my follow-ups. And I will tell you something you can do all the work that it takes to meet somebody new, to invite them to something. If you don't do the follow-up, you are not going to get fruition from it. The key is really that follow-up and making it about them. So not, I hope you got a chance to look at my, that video I sent because it means a lot to me. Doesn't matter what it means to you. It's got to be about them. It's got to, those follow-up messages really need to be about why you think it would be helpful to them, and stay on top of that. So my follow-ups many times don't happen in the same week that my new people and my invites do, because maybe I sent an invite out to somebody, and this just happened. I sent an invite to watch. I actually use, by the way, Beth and Mary's videos, the replays of the opportunity calls. Those are what I send out to a lot of people. I also have added, like I have Beth, Beth has joined me in, I think just one three-way chat we've done. I've had Liz Ann help me with those. I do a lot of three-way chats. That's another invite, a way to invite somebody to hear more. You can send them to one of the groups to hear more, but I like to have something where I can say, this is my friend Beth. I think you'll really relate to her because, and then I make the connection of why, why I think they'll get along well. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm all over the place. I hope that you're following me okay. So those follow-ups then, sometimes last Monday, I sent a video out. Well, I followed up with her on Friday and she hadn't yet watched it. And by the way, I don't say, hey, did you watch the video? I say, don't know if you got a chance to watch the video. I know lots of things have been happening. Again, it's personable. I need to know what has happened in her life, and just following her on Facebook helps me know. I know the kids were just going back to school. You had a lot of things going on. You may not have had a chance to watch it. I'm giving her an out because I don't want her to say, I don't want her to feel bad because she didn't watch it, first of all. And then secondly, I want to have somewhere else to go with it. So if I say, did you get a chance to watch the video? And she says no, then I'm like, well, when are you going to watch it? And by the way, I do use that sometimes, not in the follow-up, but in the initial invite. Do you think you'll have a chance to watch it today, or do you think tomorrow will be easier for you? So that way I know. And I always say, again, I'm going back to the invite. I always say, I promise I'll follow up if I don't hear from you first. I'll follow up in a few days if I don't hear from you first. That way, when I follow up, she's not like, oh my gosh, we do that in our heads. They're never thinking that, but we do that in our heads. So if we say we're going to follow up, we're just holding ourselves accountable to doing what we promised somebody you would. So that gets rid of that stuff in our heads that we think what other people are thinking. Most of the time, they're not thinking about us at all. And they don't even so many times we're afraid to message somebody. And believe me, I used to actually make physical phone calls to people and leave messages. And we get in our heads when they don't respond. So when somebody doesn't respond to my follow-up, you won't see it on my page, but I use these little just abbreviations. So I use NA, meaning she didn't see it. She wasn't available, didn't even see my message. Okay. And I put that next to her name on my follow-up so that I'll know that I need to still go back to her and look again and see she finally saw it. And then NR, no response. She saw my message, but she didn't respond to it. And that gives me a reason to go back and follow up with those people again. And I will tell you, there are more people who do not respond, more people who don't say yes. There are just more no's than there are yeses. And that's the way, that's just the bottom line. But if you don't do the 555 and do the follow-up, you won't find the yeses. You really have to reach out to the masses to find the few. And so my results from doing the Firestarter have been so good because I've just continued to do the do. I haven't let it stop me. I am not letting somebody else or somebody's situation prevent me from having what I want, and that is success. I want to build my team. I want to win that money. I'm not going to let somebody else's, inability to communicate with me, because I do have some people who I'll ask a certain question and their answer is like, where'd that come from? Like somebody said she was interested in hearing more about something I was using. I think it was the collagen. And I said, would you like some information? I'd love to share it with you. She says, sure. So I share it with her. And you know what she replied? I don't want to get involved with another MLM. And I was like, I was only sending her information about the collagen. I was not sending her information about, I'm like, okay, well, I did try and, I sent her another message and said, really, it's not about the MLM. And I asked her, can you tell me why you wouldn't want to purchase a product from somebody who's part of an MLM? And she never replied. I probably didn't even need to go there, but I'm sharing that with you because that happens to me too. I'm not special. I don't have some magic wand that everybody says, oh yes, I'd like to blah, blah, blah. No, most of the time it is no, thank you. And sometimes even something weird like that. But I will tell you, I've never had anybody who, wants to spit in my face. I've never had anybody who says, die and never call me again. I have had some people say, please take me off your list. Totally fine. Thanks for letting me know, because I don't want to keep bugging you if you're not interested. So let me see if there was anything else that I wrote down. Keep lists, the no's. I worked old school, my abbreviations. Finally, power hour. You guys, if you can get onto one of the power hours and work it that way, you'll get your 555 done in that hour. I promise you, you can get it done that quickly, working just 1 hour a day. And we have the power hours, Christy and I do in the morning. Well, it's morning for me. Yeah, it's still morning for all of you on the West Coast. I'm in Mountain Time. So Whitney does one in the evenings, and there's pop-up power hours too. And if you can't get on during one of those times, just set yourself a timer and work, schedule it into your day. You'll be so glad you did. I wasn't watching time. How am I doing on time? Okay. So any questions? Is there anything else that maybe I missed that I could go over? Is there anything that you would want to know from me?
Elaine, Jim asks, can you elaborate when someone says yes, that they did watch the video? What do you say when they say yes, they watched the video?
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I love to say my favorite part, and thank you, Christy, for helping me with this one. My favorite part in the video was, and I just say, I love the fact that our company, has the not for sale, the mission. What was your favorite part? So I ask them what their favorite part is, or I'll say, was there anything in the video that maybe surprised you? So rather than just saying, what did you like about it? Asking them specific questions so they just don't, they say, oh, I liked it all. You want to know specifically what was it that drew them. So is there anything that surprised you? What do you admire most about the Jamie's story, or just giving them specifics? Did that answer your question, Jim?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Anything else?
Elaine, I did have a question just for clarification purposes. When you are leaving messages for people, are you typically typing out messages? Are you doing voice messages? Are you doing a combination? Just so people are clear when you're doing your reach outs and meeting people, I always think your voice conveys a little bit more of your personality, but you elaborate on that, please.
Yes, absolutely. You're right. Your voice does absolutely speak to people's hearts a lot more, since we're not, I used to call it eyeball to eyeball, and we can with video calls now. But when you're actually sitting down with somebody and having a conversation where they hear your voice, it's much more effective than just a message. But I do use both. Initially, a lot of times a lot of the people that I initially reach out to, it is in a message, it's a text. But at some point I want them hearing my voice. So my follow-ups, a lot of times my follow-ups are a voice text. Yeah, I use them both.
Elaine,
Yes.
you actually get a phone number to start texting them?
No, I don't ask them for the phone number initially. Unless, sometimes that new person that I'm just communicating with isn't necessarily brand new to me. It's just somebody new that I haven't mentioned MIG to before from my past. And I might have, already have their phone number. But when I have begun a relationship and I feel like they trust me, I will ask for their phone number. The thing I like about messaging is that you can see when they saw the message, and with texts you can't. But if it's somebody that you've built that relationship with, I don't think that makes as big a difference. I don't think there's any benefit one way or the other. I'm sorry, what, Jim?
Sorry to interrupt you. You're talking about texting and Messenger.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Or in Instagram, right? Yeah,
Okay.
most of my communication is done through texting through Messenger.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, I hope, what I really would love to see in September is everybody getting on board with the challenge. I don't want anybody thinking, oh, Elaine has won, she won money in June, she won money in July. I want to see somebody do more than me, because I will be honest with you, it's available to every single person. And if you just do the 555, I promise you are going to see results, and you can easily beat me for sure with the 555 this month for sure, because the last couple of months I was able to get more done than I have this month. I have things happening in my life too, and so sometimes that pushes me out of the 555, and that's one of the ways you can win money, just by doing the 555. The more days you get it done, there are 3 different categories, right, Beth? 3 different categories with Firestarter. So one of them is just three. Yeah. So one of them is just getting the 555 done. Oh my goodness. If you did that 5 days a week for the whole month, that's 25. And I've never done that many. So beat me. I challenge somebody to do more 555s than I've done. The second way is by adding new customers. Your new customers are going to come from that 555. They really will, especially if you're doing the follow-up. And then the third way is by either recruiting or launch packs or both for new team members. And again, that's going to come from the 555. So please do join the challenge. You'll be glad you did, and it's going to help you pay for your virtual ticket, your hotel room, your conference ticket to be there in person, which I'm so sad I won't, but I'm going to be there in heart and spirit. So did I cover questions? Anything else I can add?
That was awesome, Elaine. You're awesome. Listen, I've said this before. Elaine has interpersonal skills that millennials and young people will never have, because she's done the hard things. She's built this thing before there was the internet, before there was a cell phone. So you guys, we have a ton of things that we can learn from Elaine. And I appreciate all your work you're doing. And I'm just proud of you for, I mean, literally, you've won hundreds of dollars over the last few months. All right. So everybody, here's what you need to know about Firestarter. You Venmo $20 to Mary Drake before Mary's raising her hand, before the 1st of September. Okay. You are going to, you'll see the sheet, whoever it's in the Firestarter group, but somebody will send you the sheet of what the activities are and what the categories are. just go ahead and start working. It's a quiet group. It's not something that everybody's in there posting. That's a group to keep up with activity at the end of the month. So don't worry about, it's not something else you have to keep up with. There's not another group on Facebook. It's basically just, we're saying, hey, you're in and go. Okay. And at the end of the month, everybody's going to come back and report. And Elaine has blown it away. You guys, like she said, beat her. It's the stuff that you're supposed to be doing anyway. It's the activity that you do in this business anyway. So why not? Why not throw your hat in the ring? So anyway, I appreciate you, Elaine, for doing that. And she just had back surgery, y'all. This lady she is texting me from her hospital bed. Okay. From her hospital bed, she was texting me about follow-ups and about worrying about her business. She's got the work ethic. She knows what she's doing, and she has the work ethic that we all need to work on. So anyway, I appreciate you, Elaine, and thank you for sharing with us. And everybody, if you don't know about Firestarter, if you don't know how to get involved, whatever, talk to your sponsor, talk to whoever you're with and whoever you work with, get with them. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.